Alright, so not long ago I did a video on a review for this Samsung Activewash 5.2 cubic foot top-loading washing machine. And looking at the statistics for that video, I saw a lot of people were finding that video by typing in how to use a top-loading Samsung washing machine. So this video I'm going to go in a little bit more detail about the different functions and really how I use the machine and what I find most helpful. Alright, so assuming that you got the water hooked up and that you got it plugged into an electrical outlet, the first thing you need to do is press the power button. From there, you're going to lift up the lid, and what you do next depends on what function you want to do with the washing machine. If you have something you need to pre-treat, or if you have something that you want to wash by hand, you lower the Activewash sink, turn on the water button. After it fills up to the desired amount that you want, go ahead and turn it off. And from there you could put some garments in there, soap, pre-wash, whatever you want to do. You could let it soak. You could hand wash on this wash surface here. Really whatever you need to do that garment. Honestly, I've only used this sink one time in the 6 weeks I've had this washing machine. That was to get out a blueberry stain out of some white pants that my daughter stained. Came down here right away, soaked them, used the wash surface to work on that stain, and it actually did a pretty good job. It came out. But again, only time in 6 weeks that I've actually used this feature. Alright, so after you're done using the sink, with your garment still in there, basically what you do is you just lift it up. The water and the garment will automatically go down inside. You don't have to touch it anymore at that point. Okay, next thing that you want to do, assuming that you're done using the Activewash sink, or if you didn't have anything to pre-treat, you could go directly to this step after powering on the unit and opening the lid. You're going to want to get some detergent and softener in here. Now normally what I'll do is I'll fill it up, depending on the load size, I'll fill it up to around that maximum line. And also at this point you're going to put in some fabric softener if you use fabric softener. If you don't use fabric softener, then obviously you wouldn't put anything in. Now they say to dilute the fabric softener with water, an equal part of water. So what I do is I just don't fill it up all the way. I fill it up to about the halfway point. And then the rest is flushed out with water as it enters into the washing machine. So after you get those filled up to the desired levels, go and shut the drawer. Now this part's important because sometimes I forget to shut that drawer and I bring it down, and that Activewash sink will hit the top of the tray. And I'll go ahead and I'll show you. So it will hit it. If you forget to push it in and you bring it down too hard, you could run the risk of breaking it. So always remember to push it in first. Alright, so now that you got your fabric softener, you got the detergent in, next thing to do is start putting in your clothes. So now with a HE washing machine, you don't have the agitator in the middle, but I still tend to put my clothes down around the edges. If you actually watch how this cycle agitates the clothing, it kind of churns it up from the outside inward. So if you start everything close to the outer walls, it kind of makes that process a little bit easier for the washing machine to wash your clothes. So I would encourage you to do that. Just don't pile it all in here in the center. Try to keep as much as you can to the edges. Alright, so now we got all the clothes filled up in there. Obviously I didn't keep everything off the center of the washing machine. If a little bit kind of falls inward, that's okay, but as long as you put most of it around the outside of the drum, you're going to be okay. Now also at this time, if this were a white load and I want to put some bleach in, obviously I don't because it's a dark load, that would ruin the clothes, but if you want to put your liquid bleach in, it will go right there. Recommended usage is about 1 cup of bleach for an extra large load, so depending on what size you'd be doing, you could do up to 1 cup of bleach. So after you get your clothes in, detergents in, softeners in, go ahead and shut the lid. At this point you're going to look at it and you're going to try to determine what load you want. To be honest with you, 95% of the stuff I do, I use a normal wash, an eco warm, high spin, soil level, normally normal. But depending on what kind of load you got, you could go through and choose any of these cycles. So heavy duty, something that's really dirty, maybe some sports clothes that have heavy stains on them. Super speed, if you're in a rush, as you can see, that dropped down the time of the wash really quick. Maybe you need some work clothes washed real quick in the morning. Deep wash. This is a wash that fills up the tub with extra water, more water than normal. So they call that a deep wash. Delicates, again, a short wash, low agitation, cold water. These would be for garments that maybe kind of silky or soft, that you don't want heavily agitated. It might ruin the fabric. Brilliant whites, those are self-explanatory. They wash this one on hot water, high speed, heavy soil level. Now bedding and waterproof, that would be for like a comforter. Now if you do wash a comforter in this, read the directions in your manual, because it does show you a way that the garment has to be folded to help keep the washing machine from getting unbalanced. Permapressed, these would be for fabrics that you want to keep unwrinkled, that tend to get wrinkled a little bit easier. Book wash, again, this is kind of similar to the super speed. I honestly don't know why they have two different settings that kind of do the same thing. Activewear, this would be like workout clothing, sports bras, things like that. Rinse and spin, self-explanatory. It's just a quick rinse, and then it spins. And obviously just the spin cycle. I don't know what you would use this for. Maybe some pool clothing that you don't want washed, but you want the water rinsed out of. I'm not too sure. But again, most 95% of my washes are going to be a normal wash on eco warm water. So that is water that's not quite as warm as the warm. So you're using a little bit less hot water. So it's going to save you some either gas or electricity, depending on how your washing machine is, or depending on how your hot water tank heats the water. But again, I do stuff on normal cycle, eco warm, high spin, normal soil level. Then the Eco Plus, that lights up when you do the Eco Warm. And from there, all that's left to do is just hit the start button. All right, so the washing machine's going. You could see that spinning around. That's totally normal. It does that as it gauges the load to determine how much water it needs to put in, how heavy the load is, how long it's going to take to wash it. But normally, when that number comes back for how long the load's going to take, it's normally about the same as before it started spinning. So a couple of things over on this side. So pre-soak, so what that does is it'll add time to the front end of the wash. So it'll fill up with water and it'll let that stuff soak for a while. So that will add time to your wash. Extra rinse, again, self-explanatory. That'll put an extra rinse cycle in there. Eco Plus, we already talked, that'll do your Eco Warm. My cycle, now you can save a cycle in here. Like I always default to normal wash, Eco Warm, high spin, normal soil level. If that was something that didn't pop up automatically, I could save it as my cycle. And that way I could just hit that button and everything auto-populates. Delay end. Say you wanted a load of laundry to be finished in exactly 4 hours for whatever reason. You get everything ready, you'd hit delay end, and then you would set the time for how far out you want that load to get finished. Then self-clean, this will actually light up after about 20 washes with the machine. So that's telling you that it wants to do a self-clean cycle. And what that basically does is it fills it up with hot water. You're encouraged to use a little bit of bleach or vinegar to help it clean the machine. But after every 20 washes, this will light up, it'll stay lit, and it'll want you to do a self-clean cycle with no clothes in it. Alright guys, so those are the basic functions on how to use this washing machine. Hopefully it helped you out a little bit. But overall, it's a super easy washing machine to use. Basically all you need to really do is press the power button, put your clothes in, put the detergent and softener in, close the lid, pick your cycle, and then press start. Alright guys, that's it for the video. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to let that load wash. But in the meantime, If you haven't already subscribed, go ahead and do it, because as I said in the beginning of the video, we're going to be raffling off a brand new pair of AirPods Pros. All you have to do is hit the subscribe button. Once we hit 1,000 subscribers, I'll go and I'll pick one of those people, and they're yours. Easy enough. So all you have to do, just hit that button, and you could win a brand new pair of Apple AirPod Pros. All right, thanks for watching. Catch you next time.